Morning, 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 morning. How are we doing, team? How are we all doing? Hope you're having a good start to the day. Hopefully you had a good afternoon yesterday. Nice session yesterday for those who caught it with me. And a new day, so a new market to look at. All right, a new market to look at. So let's start on the daily like we always do, starting on the daily. Right. The battleground persists, okay? Battleground persists here. No big change. We're rotating from the top Bollinger Bands to the bottom Bollinger Bands, back into the mean, and we've got supply overhead, all right? So let's just think about Friday, top bowl to lower bowl. Monday, back into middle, mean reversion. Tuesday, back down to lower bowl, closing back near the middle. And Wednesday, we're opening up, trying to look for a breakout at the moment. That's what the market's trying to do. We've got lots of liquidity built in here. We had a failed break of the high and a failed break of the low yesterday, like we talked about. Lots of liquidity built where basically 25K is actually more like 900s, but 25K to the 750s right here. All right. This is your rotational ground. This is where traders are going to get chopped up. That's where we've built liquidity out for 3 sessions now, or 3 days now. All right. It's worth noting that while we had a rejection here, there is still lots of supply up here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this day 7. Still a week's worth of supply caught up here. Now it's possible we start digging through these 25,050s, which is sort of the bottom end. But I tell you what, once we get into 180s, 190s, there's lots up there still. All right, so don't be surprised to see a drive up here, reject, and come back down and look to rebase out. If it bases out, maybe we have a go at all-time high later. If it fails that, this will just be a deep drive. And guess what? 1, 2 leg, and I'm not ruling out further pain right now in this market. But what I would say is the Bollingers are suggesting further contraction. Look how they're starting to tighten with everything in the middle. Someone will get hurt, all right? Once we've done enough of this, all right, and it can take a long, long time, at some point, a break is going to happen because we're going to build out a huge amount of liquidity on a daily bar. All right, let's get into the hourlies. Move this over so I can see you all properly. Okay, hourly here. Same story, all right, same story. You can see potential 2 leg. There's the bottom one. We're starting second leg, all right? So if we base over these key levels here, all right, there's a chance to come back into sort of this pivot. Let's call it 150 to 190. Acceptance through that pivot, we're going all-time highs. It's as simple as that, or we're going to retest all-time highs. So what are we looking for this morning? Well, yesterday where we broke down from that afternoon breakdown is previous day value area high and point of control, lots of volume there. If we pull back before breaking out this morning, there might be a bid off this level, all right? So I'd say anywhere from sort of 950 to 900. If we pull back in there and hold, so on a lower time frame, you'd be looking for something like this down here, then we can have a reattempt of this high of 25,045. Let's call it 25,050. If we rebase over that or continue squeezing, you're looking for next leg up into 150 to 180. 150 to 180, is that right? Or is it a little bit higher? 150 to 190, just call it 150 to 200. All right, that will be the easiest move if we do that. If we fail this morning, if a pullback fails to hold previous day value area high, right, it can come all the way back down. I'd be looking at this level here, which we bid off, sort of 820s and 800s. And if we fail that, all the way back down to value area low, and then we'll probably just do another rotational day in here unless you see a breakout. I'm not really looking for this move today. We can talk about that if and when we get down there, but really what I'm really expecting is something like this, or like this, or maybe like this, and if we have to go really deep like this, but it's unlikely. All right, so I'm expecting a move back up to here. Once we get up to this level here, which is fresh, we've not tapped this level of supply, I am expecting to see some sellers. So if you don't get the chance for a pullback here or here this morning, if we go straight squeeze up here, don't worry about it. let it squeeze out. There's a good chance when we get up into here that we offer that pullback, and then we can think about the new structure, RBS levels, maybe being absorbed for a retest of this high or here. All right, so we can expect this pullback into here or here at that point. Maybe if we get lucky, we see something like that, and we'd be risk off back into this, runners only, because this is fresh supply. Remember, 7 days worth of supply up here. We're going to be very cautious. What we're not going to do is, if we come screaming up here, is just join long in here. All right, that is where you're going to get in trouble. We don't want to be long up here, even if momentum's good. Right, we don't want to be joining long. We want longs here, 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 or a retest and a hold of that. I would also consider, but that's less preferable. All right, and you can see that above. The one thing I'd say we need to be aware of today is how we built that liquidity. Now, the afternoon pullback yesterday, we built lots of volume here. If you were in the room, you caught this flush back down. It seemed fairly obvious. Double bottom here, and since then, all we've done is grind back up without taking any stops out. Okay, what does that mean? Oof, mate, some of these guys are going to get hurt. There's no way all these guys are going to be left okay, which is why the ideal circumstance would be a pullback this morning into this kind of area first. Let's wash some of these out before we do anything else, because if we go straight squeeze and fail later, we've built all this, just like yesterday, all this built for a slam. All this gets built for a slam, all right? And expect the market to keep rotating and rotating and rotating and rotating, because it's what it's telling us it wants to do until it's got enough caught offside. All right, so you can see the levels up above. So let's get into some of the ETFs. ES looks the same, by the way. We can go through everything. We've got time. All right, ES exactly the same. ES actually better because it's broken out. So any pullback, sorry, folks, any pullback on ES into this kind of RBS level which holds, you can look for that rotation back into here, risk off into here. So that's your trade one, risk off into there, hold runners in case you keep going. If we come deeper, you can look for this sort of under over level. All right, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, breakdown, resistance, support. All right, this is a huge level right here. What are we calling it? 80s, somewhere in there, big level. All right, that's your under over. You will want to see ES hold that level. If ES starts failing that level, we're coming back to these lows. You'd want to see ES hold one of these. Right, let's have a look at the MAG and the VIX. VIX back into range, right? We do have potential support here for it. Failing that, we can go gap fill all the way down to 17. So if we start seeing VIX lose 1865 and filling this huge imbalance, then we know the market's likely to be a bit more risk on this morning. All right, so otherwise, range rotation in here. That will be very violent range rotation because we're high, right? This is a risk offsetting in here. We want down here if we're going to go risk on. Okay, MAG, let's get into it. Apple, why are you not showing me extended? There we go. All right, nice gap up on Apple, starting to find a bid. Let's zoom out here. That breakdown was awful, absolutely awful. It's what we were talking about last week. This was an awful shape for a wash back down to here, but if it starts reclaiming, the next time it reclaims up here, we're going to go for all-time highs, no doubt about it, because we've now built this. So the question for Apple is, can it reclaim that 150 range? This reminds me very much of NVIDIA, I don't know, a month ago or so, same kind of setting where we built a range, we broke down, it was a failed breakdown, we reclaimed the bottom side of the range and we went to highs. So Apple 150 would be key. Gapping up here this morning by $2 looks pretty good. So let's see if we can get back over 150, 153. Amazon, slight gap up. This thing's lagging. All right, this thing's lagging. If this thing comes out with good earnings, it could be a bit of a rocket ship. You can see it's built out a huge range in here. All right, we just failed the breakout of the lower side of the range. We've traded back and forth. If they find a bid here and come up here for earnings, it could be a bit of a rocket ship just because we've been here for so long now. We've been here really all summer, since June. 4+ months in a sideways range. It's got juice in it if that gets going, so watch out. I'm still long that, long term. All right, Goog. We said it's been the weak one, but it's found a bid, hasn't it? All right. It's been in that trend down. You can see right here, there's the pivot, back upside, gapping up. So another gap up in the mag on Goog. Meta, slight gap up, lagging behind a little bit, strong trend down, wash, break of structure, change of character, hold of the bottom, and now the question is, can it get back above 36? That will trigger the squeeze. All right, that's what you're looking for on Meta. 736s. Microsoft gapping up as well. So most of the mag gapping up, that's closer to flat. Same kind of story here. Wash held the bottom. Can it hold this to get it back going to the upside? Nvidia's, I think, the strong one today from what I remember. Yes. All right, that is a nice, big, chunky move off the bottom. $5 up right now off this low. And it's trying to get back into this kind of area here. If it gets acceptance into 86s, it's going to look for 90s through that all-time high again. A nice recovery there. And Tesla, same kind of story. Big range. Fail, break out the high. Fail, break out the low. Back into this kind of rotational play. We can have a quick look at Oracle. Moving upside as well. AMD holding on really nicely. Glad I didn't sell my position. Just took a little partial there to make sure I locked something in. But we still look good. Check the swings very quickly. PayPal lagging. Oh, that's killing me that I didn't sell any up there. IREN, please pull back. An absolute squeeze monster. Please pull back. It's not coming back anywhere. Flat on Oscar. I'm still up on that. MVTS, a big squeeze yesterday. Anyone who took my swing calls long on MVTS, you are absolutely laughing. That break of 9s absolutely sent it. Remember, 30% short float on this. I don't know why, because they've got huge deals with Nvidia. It just seems absolutely obvious that this is going to keep squeezing all the time. Tech is strong. That's a very strong pivot breakout. Your next move here is for that 23s if you're swing long in that. Okay, that has you prepared. You know what we're looking for today. Ideally, bullish moves for upside. Ideally, we get offered some pullbacks that we can get into first before we think about anything else. And we've got 40 seconds here. I'm not going to get a chance to go through all the good mornings. I'm sorry, team, but good morning to you all. Thank you for joining. Let's smash that like button nice and early so we don't have to talk about it. We can do some giveaways on stream today. Just be careful if you're trading with NinjaTrader. It seems there is a couple issues this morning, especially if you're using Enhanced Trader or anything like that, affordable indicators. Requested Apex payout at 11 last night was approved this morning. Nice, Richard. That's what I love to hear. Good work. Good work. All right, so we don't want to get long in here, ideally. Ideally, we don't want to get long in here. This feels like it's just changed and lost all my stuff. Let's get rid of you. You are not of interest to me. Okay, so pullback here this morning. Lovely. This is what we want to see. Can we get a pullback and offer us some form of entry to get involved in? See if I can take profit to come online here. Anyone else having issues there? Just me. Come on, Mr. Data Center. Wakey, wakey. There we go. So this is what we want to see. You want to see a back test somewhere towards that previous day value area high if possible. And then we can start joining in with potential bids if we build structure around there. SPY already under its VWAP. We're going to watch for SPY to retest previous day high. ES doing the same kind of move. Back towards that 20-day and 5-day. VIX trading sideways right now. Come on, lower you come. The lower the better, and then we can think about getting involved here. Where's that London high? 35s. So we'd like to see lower first because we don't want to buy high. So we want to see a move back into RBS, into some sort of area of interest for us to bid off is what we would like. The first area of interest is in here. Previous day value area high and previous day point of control. If we can hold these levels, if we hold value, remember, it's a good shot to move higher. If we need to come and check back here, we have VWAP and previous day point of control, that 900, that whole level. That will be a very good level as well. All right, so we're waiting to see if we can get down there and build out some bullish structure. It might be that they do not want to do it. It is possible that they're just like, hey, we just want upside. We're not pulling back enough for you, but we will see. Give it some time here to shake out. I need to change all my charts on QQQ here. Come on. All right, just under VWAP on QQQ. ES traded under VWAP, found a bid. A bid already has started reclaiming VWAP. All of the MAG currently green. All right, Tesla 1.25% up, Nvidia 2% up, Microsoft 0.14% up, Meta 0.71% up, Google 1% up. Amazon's just gone green to red, but only slightly, and Apple 0.5%. So this is the move we want. Come on, drift back down to us. Let's see if we can get picked up in a nice area here and form some bullish structure. Waiting for this drift. So the first area checking, we want value area high. If they want to sweep, they can come into this Globex sort of pivot. And if they come back down to point of control, I'll definitely be very interested. So this is a level of interest for me if we build out bullish structure in this area. All right, in this area. If we're going to build out bullish structure, I am interested in bidding off this area. We'd like you to come deeper, please. Big squeeze. Oh man, I've got to change. Sorry, folks, because that enhanced trader isn't on. I've got to find some old systems I used to use. Borderline detector, that's it, isn't it? No, that doesn't work either, eh? Really? Seen that somewhat odd. Can guys who are in my Discord let me know, is Borderline detector working? Because I'm having an issue with that. So is it an issue with all indicators currently on NinjaTrader? All right, here's the checkered previous day value area high. 5-day, 20-day on ES as well, folks. These are the areas of interest. We want to see a reaction either here or in previous day point of control. US Treasuries, Besant and US Trade agreed to speak on China. Yeah, there's one thing you've got to be aware of today is the response to that China news. We had the same kind of thing yesterday. And I did post it in a Discord. So the timings today. 12:10, I've got Bostic. 12:30, Mirren. 1 o'clock, Waller. 2:30, Schmidt. No NT issues your end. So just me and Clint, is it? Lovely. Thanks for letting me know, Clint. Appreciate that, buddy. Okay, well, let me see. Hopefully we get this sorted. Okay, so far, reaction just in front of previous day value area high. ES already reclaiming VWAP. We're waiting to build out a bit more structure here. What time is Besant set to speak? Is that a separate meeting? It looks like it. Do you have details on that? Back to these flow zones. See if there's got it in financial juice. I'm not seeing it. not seeing it in financial juice. Maybe I'm blind. So it's already done. That's done then. Okay. Okay, still waiting for structure to be built out. We'd love a move into here. I'm not looking for the shorts. Remember, I'd love a move into here or here. I really would love something like this to trade off. Be the nice move here. ES already finding a nice strong bid. Let's close this down a little bit. Let's have a look at the liquidity. Back to that 25k. All right, New York Open 25k. If we start squeezing through that, it's chance we go back up to previous week value area high here. Would not be ideal. We want to be buying much, much lower. But just very aware of it right now. Mag all green. Look pretty solid. Nvidia pulling back a little bit. We'd love in here. Well, I'll consider up here if we start basing above. But I'd love a move down into here first, so we can get nice cheap value. All right, we want to be bidding somewhere in this range if we can form out bullish structure. So any sort of double bottom or pivot like this, or some form of trap, all right, that's just reclaimed in a grind, that would be, I'll be open to it. If we don't do that, if we keep getting bearish and letting go of point of control, then we're going to go in range rotation from 25k down to 750. Remember, same thing we've done the last few days. It's shown you in front of 25k, 700s. Failed 25k, all right, little peak above, but 25k, fail above, 700s. All right, this is the range rotation. Here we come. So we're starting to see some failures here. This is more interesting now, coming into an area of interest for us. So previous day value area high checked. ES relative strength here, by the way, folks. VIX starting to perk up a little bit. VIX starting to perk up a little bit. There's the move into previous day value. Let's see if we can build out some structure down here or trap some bears. Thank you, BU. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So wait and see if we have some kind of shift in momentum down here. If bulls step back in this kind of area, and we will know because we will trap bears and we'll see it nice and clear. So we're not bidding, or I'm not bidding against this move because we don't know. This can keep flushing. Maybe it flushes down, wants to gut check 800. I don't know, but this is definitely an area of interest for me. And I'm waiting to see now if bulls come in, if we're able to trap bears, if there's something of interest to trade down here. Otherwise, we go next level down. All right, so London low would be 869. There's kind of a transition between London and Asia around that 869, which is also 860 was that little sort of bear trap yesterday before we ended up failing. All right, so that's definitely an area, and the midpoint as well, sort of 800s. And then obviously 750, 700 if they really want to be disgusting and let go of the whole range and go from one side of the range to the other again, which I'm not going to rule out. That is for sure. No way am I ruling that out. So just stuck here at previous day value area high. Range a bit smaller today, as you would imagine so far. After a big expansion yesterday and a pullback and an expansion overnight. All right, starting to see some buyers come in here on the book. Still got them sat down at 920. I'd like to see a pullback to 920 first before we just go upside if possible. Structure still bearish. I'd like to see one little dunk down to 900, 920, 900. I want to see lots of delta come in there, bearish side, and then just see a squeeze up. That would be the most ideal circumstance, I would say. What got to watch VIX here. It is curling in front of previous day low. Right, VIX is curling in front of previous day low. Got to watch it. They're starting to protect that previous day value area high here. Here's the squeeze. I'm watching very, very carefully. Still structure bearish. They're going to make this hard if they just rip this at this point. And we have swept that old hourly low, I would say, which is important for the bullish move. That 7 a.m. candle. I would like deeper if possible first. Maybe I'm just being greedy, but it's what I would like. Remember, the deeper we go, the better value that buy will be if we can trap bears. POC looks like a decent level. All this liquidity here. Let's see, let's see. All right, bulls are currently trying to protect 950s now. I still want this deeper, but they might not let it come here. That was the first shift here, saying, hey, we're going to protect this at 950. ES trying to get through its higher day right now. So some divergence here between NQ and ES right now. ES right into higher day. Can it break out here of 740s? NQ going the other way. So maybe we get that move we want into POC. Very, very different charts. Strong selling coming in here. This is what I want to see. Strong selling and a trap. Please, 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 please. If you're going to be polite, that's what I'd like. Okay, there's VWAP. POC just below. There's your VWAP. Heavy, heavy, heavy selling here. So 920, 900 is the first level of real interest to me. Bid off VWAP, watching previous day value area high here. If they fail to get back above previous day value area high, they probably check POC. Remember, it's the most traded level yesterday. If they fail this whole level, this is where we failed from in the afternoon yesterday. It's where all the volume got caught yesterday, remember. Starting to reclaim here. There's the squeeze, first level of the squeeze through previous day value area high. In this long now, let's see if we can get going. Very, very small size. I want to be careful here because we haven't. It's not like we've absolutely dumped here, but we've gone into the zone. We've held VWAP. Here we go. Selling some into the 80s. This is exactly what I was looking for. Trap the bears underneath this swing. Here we go. So watching now for that New York high. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Don't you love it when a plan comes off? Let's go, baby. See if we can get into New York high here, and then through that we're looking at previous week value area high if possible. Don't say you weren't prepared. Do not say you weren't prepared. What a beauty. What an absolute beauty. So there's the W. There's the trap underneath. There's the big volume that comes in. There's the reaction. There's the squeeze back through value, back into this high. Partials here. If we base out here, we go for that move now. Lovely. Make sure you're paying yourself. Right, because we are in rotation still. All the time we're in this area, you have to pay yourself. Right, folks? Have to be paying yourself. Let's see if we can get back up to that 25K. And through that New York Open. I've already paid myself here, locked in some nice money. Wait for the next setup. Besant speaking now. Do you have a link to that, my friend? I'm struggling to find that. to back down. So going to knock out my runner here, break even, which is fine. Already paid myself, like we said. So in a range, expect rotation. Besant, we would like to see US retailers on the ground in China. Yeah, we want everything and China can have nothing, is what I'm reading here. We want this to be the last time we talk about rare earth with China. There's room for a positive relationship. We are expecting Chinese restrictions not to be implemented and go back to the prior agreement. Oh, that's very positive news. That is very positive news. We see this Chinese revocation with why it's important for Trump to have an emergency powers to impose tariffs. Tariffs are a surcharge, not a tax. Tariffs could be paid by an export country or importer. Trump needs emergency powers to protect the US economy. All right, coming back down to POC now. Still looking for those same kind of plays. All right, same kind of plays. You have got news breaking here, so just be careful. So coming back down to that POC. If we fail this level, all right, then we can come back down to London low, which would be 868 all the way into 8. So I'd be watching 870 to 850 if we start failing under here. We can trap this level, but the next level down would be into sort of here. Gap fill will be all the way down here. And that will be a full rotation if we get for a gap fill. Remember, that would be 25k to 750, which is your battleground out the newsletter. We've talked about it all week. All right, ES into 5-day, 20-day here. POC here. If bulls are going to step in for a move up higher today, really you'd like to see them step in here. If they fail to step in here, then we probably go rotation 750s again, to be honest. So just waiting to see what we do now. Had that nice little squeeze up that I caught a good, I don't know, 40, 50 points out of. Just waiting now for the next move. We know that this is a big level. This point of control, huge level. Huge level. Midpoint. I would say this is an area bears can get stuck in. If bulls take control and we want to go for rotation, this is the kind of area where I would say bears can get stuck in. But it really depends what their intentions are and what this news is. If they can come out with positive news or even just stop talking at all. VIX starting to break, going back towards 20 at the moment, so be careful. VIX is curling off that previous day low right now. You can see the whippiness here. We're back and forth. Lovely squeeze. So they might retrap here if we get back through previous day value area high. Very whippy behavior. But this is the level that they want to hold. Tariff validity says if Trump has the authority to cut off all trade under IEPA, he can take lesser step of imposing tariffs. I would not be bearish here. So one thing, even if we break down, you can join later. I'd be very cautious about getting bearish in this level. This is blue for a reason. I think this is a potential trap area. ES is holding currently on top of previous day high, 5-day, 20-day, and VWAP. All right, 5-day, 20-day, and VWAP. You can wait and join in later on the bullish move if you don't like playing these traps. They are not the easiest moves to play, but these are where I expect bears to get trapped down here, like I keep talking about. All right, yet again, holding previous day point of control, trading back to value area high. If we trade through this, we can potentially go to that New York open high. Watching ES, though, as it trades into VWAP. So we have got divergence between everything here. It's 55s. Can we get acceptance through this now and go back towards New York high and previous day high? That would be the question I would pose right now on the market. starting to squeeze here. It's trying. Might need one more pullback into sort of 40s before it does anything. So bears getting trapped down there like we talked about. Bulls coming back in here. Delta is heavy right down here. I'd say if bulls can hold sort of 35s now, a squeeze is on, especially if ES is now, ES has reclaimed VWAP up. So if ES pulls back into that New York VWAP up and holds, that would be a good signature. Need to be careful because we had divergence at the highs. All right, ES took out its high this morning in the New York session, so need to be careful there. European allies will be willing to follow on tariffs and the Chinese. Here's the squeeze. They're going to go for it. I need one more pullback to get some size on here. I need you to pull back and offer me some size before we break. Don't want to be bidding high on this. Come on, mate. Back down you come for me. Be kind. VIX getting slammed at 20s. Oh, my God. You're just going to go, aren't you? Please don't go. Please don't go. You're going to go. Pretty please, market. Come back for me. Back down to value area high. Show me that you want to hold that. Remember, we're higher time frame and lower time frame bullish right now. I need this to pull back for me. Please. Don't break out ES. Please don't break out ES. Please don't break out ES. Please come back. Please, 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 please come back into the range. All right, opening range is also set here, folks, by the way. So you're trading in the middle of it at the moment. So we failed to break out the lower side of that opening range. We held previous day point of control. That blue box was the area to bid off. This is the area we said bears will get trapped down here. Any hold of POC or value, all right, will be a bear trap. If we can do this now, it'll offer a really nice trade upside. We've already had it twice, but I'm looking to get more size on if it will pull back first. I really don't want to be entering at the top of the opening range into these 25Ks. It's not where I want to get long, but it's, oh my God, it's probably not going to let me in with any size or anything of note. Come on, you bugger. Come back to me. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, please. US has told China that if any fentanyl issues are fixed for 6 months, fentanyl tariffs will come off. I wouldn't say any of this is bad news this morning. Oh, it's just going to go. You are an absolute bitch. Okay, it's going to drive through New York Open here, probably, without picking me up. And then you're looking for previous week value area high, 25,040 and previous day high. So basically 40.50 is your target here for an extension squeeze if they get through 25,000. I really want to be picked up in the 40s here, as in the low 40s, not the upper 40s, as in 24,940s. We're just squeezing. Checking 25,000 here. If it gets through, we get acceptance above. We can have that squeeze to 1450. New high day on ES. There you go. There's 25,000. All right, going to have to take. I've only got small pieces on here, unfortunately. Didn't size up. Taking some off here. Seeing if we can go up to previous week value area high now. And previous day high. This kind of area up here. Here's the squeeze. So if we bid now for an extension off 25,000, you know where we want to go. If we fail here, we go back into rotation, right? We don't really want to be bidding high, but this market is not giving us much of an opportunity right now unless you took those bear traps at the low. So I'm not sized in for these moves, unfortunately. Here's your opening range. Can they hold 25K for a move upside right now? That's the question you should be posing. Can you hold 25,000-ish, 24,980s-ish for a move upside? Failing to do that, we'll go all the way back down to that low where we've just squeezed out of. I would say we should move upside here. You got 25,025 on the tape, looking to get filled higher. We are bullish We recovered yesterday. We've done a pullback this morning, which has washed out a lot of players like we talked about. If we can build liquidity here sideways for a bit, this is your next target. You can see how it's played out. This is exactly what we wanted to see this morning. I would have liked the pullback deeper, like I talked about, to get some more size on. All right, here's a flag continuation break, possibly through the orb. They're holding their 25Ks like we just talked about. All right, holding 25Ks like we talked about. And can we squeeze higher? Here we go. So they're going to check these 25s, and if we get through, you know where we're going. Here we go, baby. Come on, pay me. Pay me. Pay me. I want to get through these 25s. So 25s, 45s, 50s are the targets. Once we get through that, if we get through that, your next objectives will be 150, 160 to 200. And if we get through that, then we're going all-time high. But 150, 160 to 200 is kind of where I'd like to see us trade up to today. Yeah, exactly. Overall bullish comments. And then he's finished. Perfect. Here you go. Upside continuation, new flag, over orb. You know your targets here and then here. Those are the targets, folks. Long and strong. We talked about this morning. We're not getting short. I want to see bears trapped in here. Guess what happened? Bears came in and got trapped in here and we squeezed away. There's a big bullish engulfing for you. I would have liked more size on a pullback. Didn't offer it. We're now bidding over this. Anything like this is what you're looking for. Only if we don't take this out first. If we take this out first, don't come back. Don't wait for the bid back here. All right. So we'll have to consider that at that point because it could be a failed breakout if we come back in. All right. So this, nice trigger long. W's in chat, please. You better have some W's in chat with me. I had you nicely prepared for this morning. So 25, TP1, 40s, TP2, 50s, 60s, TP3, and then hold runners for another 100 points higher. Come on, chat. Absolute gifts for you. Absolute gifts. Come on. What a beauty. What a thing of beauty. All right, ES tagging that 750. All right, so I'd imagine probably a bit of a Gex level up there. Just be careful. Tagging 750, got stuck there for the last sort of 5 minutes. So ES has completed a pretty big move. Let me just check that. All right, that was the low of Tuesday the 7th. So that was a breakdown level that we've just back tested on ES. We need acceptance through that 750 on ES to trade up to 760s to 772s, right? That's the next level on ES, but it needs to get acceptance through this level it's at the moment. We keep getting stuck there for now. But a nice hold of VWAP, a nice hold of the 5-day, 20-day on ES. Look at how we held it. Here it goes. ES is going to go now. Lovely. All right, here's the break. Can we keep squeezing? We'd like a mega squeeze. Mega squeeze. Give us a mega squeeze. Come on. Don't you hesitate. Just absolutely send a boner candle for us, please. Here we go. Up you go, sunshine. So there's your TP1. Can we get into previous day high, previous week value area low for TPT? Come on. Give us a monster squeeze. Just be careful. What I'd say, be careful. If we fail here, it might want to pull back all the way to 86s. All right, ES getting through that 50 level. That's what you want to see. Can we bid over this on ES now? Remember the structure here. We can afford a wash down on this. Look how sort of squeezed straight up we've been. We haven't really pulled back. So just be careful here coming into this level. Can afford a deep pullback here if it fails, especially if ES gets above 750 and fails back under it like we just talked about. It is above it right now. You want to be careful because technically we can still be in range rotation. All right, so see money, take money, hold runners. See money, take money, hold runners. I've got this as previous week value area low on my Ninja Trader, so slightly different to my trading view at the moment. Don't know which one's right. All right, you can see lots of liquidity on the book here, 40, 45, 50, 60, and 80. So lots of sellers stacking up here looking to get filled. So I'd like to see us just squeeze out and fill them all. And like I said, we're very steep here. If it wants to pull all the way back to sort of 24,980, it can. We're very, very steep here. That squeeze straight up without really a notable pullback, so it can afford a pullback all the way down here if it wants. Come on, just go and take out previous day high for goodness sake. For goodness sake, NQ. Let's stop doing this dance. Let's just go and fill it so I can relax for the day then. Morning. Thanks, love. Come on. You're almost there. What are we asking of you? Like 10 points, NQ? You can do that. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Maybe one more pullback before it goes. So if it pulls back, I'd be watching that New York Open down to sort of 985. If it does it before taking it. If it takes it and then pulls back, I'm not really interested in bidding off that area. Yes, it's got a hold above 750 here. It is so far. It looks good so far. Remember, if we get through this and we squeeze, we've got another 100 points higher for runners. It would be lucky, but you never know. Yesterday did that kind of grindy move all afternoon before we got stuck, so we might get the same thing. We could do a 100-point grind up and sit in a runner. That would be great. Come on, just go and take it. You can see them on the book here. 40, 45, 50, 60, and 80. There we go. It's trying. Desperately trying. Did we tap that? I think we tapped it and didn't take it. Looking for a break of it. More liquidity up here. Really shouldn't be this hard. Come on. Come on. Squeeze through it. Come on. Come on. Just want one massive candle and then I can move my runner stop right up high. Refresh seller there at 50. See him on the book. ES done a breakthrough now. New high day on ES. Come on, NQ. Why do I feel like you're going to do a nasty pullback before you take it? Come on. Just want to feel fit. The guy at 50. Here we go. 44s. Can we get through 50s? Here's previous day high. Nice little tag there. So TP here. We've taken previous day high. Just be careful here. I'd like to see a big boner candle straight up because then I can move my runner stop really high. But now that we've taken previous day high, I don't really want to see it. Here we go. Come on. Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate now. Yes. Thank you for playing kind. All right. So TP3 here now. Previous week value area high. And if we get runners, we're looking for up here. You guys should be rich. Rich, 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 rich. And I'm telling you what, I reckon a lot of other channels are like, let's get short here, and let's get short here, and let's get short here. Not once have I told you to do that today, all right? Rich, 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 rich. I don't even want to know what the other channels are doing. I can already tell. Oh, we're the supply. We failed here yesterday. Shut your mouth. Shut your gobs. Teach people the right way, please, you absolute charlatans. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, runners now. If we can get going, it will be an absolute bonus, okay? But if we can get going, the H1 gap will be filled into 128. All right, the start of supply really, for me, starts at sort of 195s, all right? So if we can get going here on a big squeeze and grindy session, then I'm looking for sort of 128s to 200s. All right, that will just be a bonus. It will be a bonus at this point if we get up into here. All right, so 128 Let's mark this out. This would be the fill of an imbalance. We've got a horizontal on somewhere sort of here. All right, that would be an H1 imbalance fill. This is the start of supply of that 7-day balanced range, right? So we've got 7 days of trapped buyers up here. Okay, so we don't want to be getting long here. It's why today I wanted cheap longs so we can get partials. And if we get into this, it's an absolute bonus. Let's fucking go, team. Come on. Come on. Come on. ES beautiful. ES doing the same move we're looking for here. It's already doing it. Right, so it's moving into those 60s. If you're long ES, you want to be taking a partial into this move now. All right, the next stop for ES is basically, let me just double check that, I think is the 800s. All right, but you've got to be taking a partial into this move. You're into the bottom edge of the 7-day balance range on ES. You must be paying yourself here, okay? If you get a break through this, you can attack the top side of that range, which will be the all-time high. But you will need a break through this. You've got to pay yourself on ES. Please, 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 please pay yourself. So ES is already here. All right, ES is already at this block here, so be careful. If ES starts failing here, we will probably pull back on NQ. If ES keeps trading through it, we'll keep going higher. Look at AMD! Oh, my swings are paying me today. Let's go. Let's go, folks. Let's go, folks. Oh, my gosh. Rich, rich, rich in chat. You better be rich, rich, rich in chat. There is no way any of you should have lost today. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah, W's in chat. Hold on to those runners, baby. Let's see if we can keep them going. Don't be scared to move your stop up. All right, I don't know how you guys want to play it, but it's a good chance of a 50-point pullback coming if ES fails here. So if you want to just take, trail by like M1 candles, because M5 candles are way too big to trail right now. If you want to trail, just trail. We can always re-enter if we build out some more structure now that we've broken out in this RBS zone. Okay, so if we now think about this, if it wants to do a giant pullback, we can think about how we act at sort of previous day high into here, can't we? We can think about this area offering some kind of support structure for the remainder of the session. We've got our targets. Remember, this is H1 in balance fill. We're almost there. We're only 30 points away. Yes, still squeezing. It's coming into those 65s, right? This is the edge of supply. The bottom edge of supply of that balance range on ES. We are there. Let's see what you guys are saying. Mike, first W on ES. Nice, mate. Lovely work. Can we do the dance? Can we do the dance? The money-making dance. Come on. Come on. Should we go back to bed, guys? Should we go and party for the rest of the day? Should we just... What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Contorted. Good morning, just tuning in. Did I miss anything? Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, you missed the play, unfortunately. Kevin, Rich. Jesse M with the W. Jeff with the W's. Bart, 3 wins. Love it. Herbs, W's all round. Clint with the W. Nice, buddy. That's what I like to see. Chris Thorne with the win. Charles Clunch, W. Got long. Previous day point of control as well. Lovely, mate. That's it. That's it. Bidding off key levels. Coop, W on the short and then W on the long. Nice. BU, W with the runner. Look, we're squeezing, guys. We're squeezing. Priska with the W. Otis with the W saying thank you. You're welcome. I missed this. How can I plan my next trade? Well, you'd have to wait for a big old pullback and liquidity build now. Mark with the W. Ken with the W. Owen with the W. JJ got a phone call, missed it all. That sucks. Myron with the W. DJ with the W. Miguel with the W. Calypso up 500. Love it. Tyre W. Best 2 days I've had in trading. Thank you, mate. You're welcome, buddy. Swoosh with the W. Foster with the W. I love it. 5-figure W for Peter Curry. Let's go. Chris trades only a micro, but 120, but 215. Hey, they add up, bud. They add up. Massive with the W. O and J, tried this trade pre-market, move stop too tight. Don't worry about it. PD, W on the pre-market short, W on the long here. Nice. Ruben with a W, Psychosis, Jappy, John, FC Mike, NGU, Ejecto. Nice. The Richardsons just passed Apex 250 evals in Asia this morning. Andrew with the W, I love it. All right, team. So we got frothy up here. ES got stuck in that 65 level that I talked about, 765, expecting a pullback now. All right, so these are the levels we can pull back to. This is a giant move, which doesn't have much structure. All right, this is a giant singular move, which doesn't have much structure to it. Why has this happened? This leg here, because shorts got trapped trying to force an offer down, which wasn't available. Okay, so now ideally you get a two leg back into what? An RBS zone. All right, and then we can trap more shorts if we're going to get a continuation. But really, we have hit the key targets. Target. We just fall short of that. Maybe we come for it and up here. But if ES, remember ES has already got into this level here, which is the edge of supply, and failed. So we need to be aware of that. I'm out of this position now. And if we come back here and offer something like this, we can trade back upside. But the low-hanging fruit trade has gone, all right? We just absolutely murdered that low-hanging fruit trade. That's 2 days in a row. Ken up $1,500 for the week so far. Nice, mate. Marek with the wins. All right, now we wait. We do not bid up here, do we? We do not bid up here, all right? You have to zoom out, folks. This is what we talk about this morning. So hopefully it makes sense what we were looking for. Again, this is all in the weekly newsletter. Everything was laid out on Saturday, all right? Higher time frame charts, hourly charts. What are we doing? All right, this was a pullback this morning to offer a bid in a key level to go where? We're trying to backtest this level. ES is already backtesting this level. Why do we not want to bid up here? Well, let's think about the legs. 1, 2. We don't want to bid at the top of a second leg pullback, all right? If we bid up here, you're going to get murdered, all right? You might get very lucky, but probability of that working is very, very slim because we're coming into the range, all right? Think about this, balance range. All right, we're trying to get acceptance through this side. We've not even got acceptance here yet. If we do, we test this. If we get acceptance up here and build out liquidity here for a session or two, fantastic, right? And we've got a double bottom inverse head and shoulders for new all-time highs. Great. But what can also happen? Big sell, pullback 1, pullback 2. This can fail. If we fail under this level, guess where we're going? Right back to lows. All right, right back to lows. But all the time we're holding now over 25,000. We're looking for acceptance between 25k and 25,200. Acceptance over 200, all-time highs. Acceptance over 200, all-time highs. All right, but this was in the newsletter, wasn't it? 750 to 25k battleground. Right, 25k, 750 is where, like here. There we go. 700, I actually said. Rotation, failed. Break underneath. Rotation, above 25k. If we get acceptance in 200, all-time highs. That's what we're looking for. That is what we are looking for. Caesar long 25,000 and 13 10 micros. 25,000 and 30. No, that's fine. That's fine. A little bit of structure, build and go. Yeah, you look good, mate. It's fine. Congrats, everyone. The dopamine is flowing. Oh, be careful with that. Yeah, very, very true. It's a big dopamine hit, nice and early. It's not even 7 a.m. when that dopamine hit me. I'm alive. I am alive. All right. Contorted. I wish every day was this easy. Yes. Well, this is what happens when you get traders stuck. All right. Once we do the build out of liquidity, this is what happens. Yesterday was the same. If you think about this, all right, even though this was sideways in the trap to go back upside, all right, think about yesterday, all right, this was the same kind of thing, all right. All right, buyers got trapped. We used their pain. All right, back down to a key level. You can check on YouTube. Those in Discord know we called it. We were looking for it. In your class, do you teach how to find your left and such? How to find left, how to look left and draw it all out and see it? Yeah, absolutely. Everything's in the course, mate. Absolutely everything's there. Otis says, past my first eval, made 3,000 per day in paper trade. Would you already scale up, or should I wait till I go through the process of getting first payout and first account? You passed an eval, you don't need to be scaling up, mate. Just go through that process now. Get your first payout, build your confidence, build your strategy, then add more accounts. Ken says, show some love, folks. We've got 190 watching, only 82 likes. Yes, come on, team. You've all made money from me this morning. Dark Recording says, sup, lads. I took that long on the absorption on the 1549 candle. I think your timing's probably somewhere else in the world to me. Got a very nice move. Greedy trade to enter on that reversal, but was looking nice since yesterday. Happy for you all. Nice work, mate. Awani, hi Alex. I saw the funding ticks video. I only got 2 questions. When you go to master, no, you don't pay any monthly subscription. All right, no monthly subscription. When you go to master, will you have an end of day every day, or does it stop when you're past the threshold? I believe it stops when you pass the threshold. Stops when you pass the threshold. So no monthly subscription. So very, very cheap. Very, very cheap. Otis, thanks, bud. Thank you. Many blessings. Hey, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. All right. So maybe offering this 2-leg. We want, if we're going to go higher, remember, we will need to build liquidity somewhere in here. All right. We expect a pullback, don't we? Think about how frothy this move is. All right. We don't join up here at the top of a move when the last targets are here. You would need to see liquidity build like this, some form of bullish continuation liquidity being built out. Even if you're trading on an M5, think about how extended we are right now. We go to an M5. We are extended. All right. You have 21 EMA, VWAP, breakout point, imbalance. All right. You want to see a pullback into some areas of interest. And what I will do, because we've done a rather large move, let's put some more volume and see what we've got in here this morning since they're open now. So you go. All right, so this is your build out of volume. Now this, if this is buyers, all right, and they get stuck, guess where we're going? Yeah, quite right, but very much like yesterday. All right, so if buyers get stuck and sellers take control of this, if buyers can't reclaim, we go down. If buyers get acceptance through volume, maybe they get these moves that they're after. But I definitely would not be bidding down here. Remember, the safe bids this morning were traps under here, and maybe some of you joined on this. All right, these are, 200 plus points away. This is what, 100 points away, 200 points away. We don't want to bid high. Name of the game, buy low, sell high, but wait for one side to get trapped. GG, all depends what type of account I'm trading, my friend. All right, all depends what type of account I'm trading. Whether I have a trailing drawdown, whether it's a 50K or 150K. So they're trying to do that flag. Buyers are trying to take control over sort of 97s here, this edge here. They're trying to force that next leg up. They might well get it, but it's a very, very, very risky buy up here. You are buying very high. You're already 100 points higher than that 25,000. So for me, it can keep squeezing without me. I'm not interested. I'm not going to buy high. For some of you, if you haven't made your money, maybe you like this move. Maybe you like how it's building out. Maybe you like the holder flow zones. For me, I would prefer to see more bears trapped in it if I'm going to think about re-entering. But I have already made my money on the day. Let's see what you guys are saying. Dark, again me, have a look at the profile distribution. I strongly believe there will be no continuation. Actually, the CVD is having discrepancies. I do think a pullback to point of control is happening around 25K. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We would expect it to hit, but you know, the edge, we're trading into the first edge, right? We're trading into the first edge. We expect a move up to here. ES has already done that. All right, we're into a golden zone here as well. So if we think about the rotation, very possible we fail here. All right, into golden zone, this kind of edge here. If we get acceptance though, through this, we will go for a squeeze. I try to not say things like I feel or I think. All right, but if we get acceptance through this, this will offer a squeeze. This is top edge of supply. This is a fresh level. I would expect to trade into here and a pullback off it. All right, for multiple reasons. If we then fail back under here, we're very, very open for this being a two-leg and a failure and a retest to see if they find value. The range rotation is very big, like we talked about in the newsletter. So that's why we were trying to play cheap. TP, TP, TP. I don't think we go on that squeeze today, but who knows? You don't know what they come out with today. There could be some press release saying, hey, all tariffs are cancelled, blah, 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 and the market goes absolutely bonkers. Remember, we were feeling quite comfortable up here, right, in this grindy market before they came out and said, hey, we're at tariff wars. Oh, right? If tariff wars disappear, normal service continues, or resumes, I should say. Where's my volume gone? Where's my volume gone? Okay. Yeah, like I said, made our money. I'm not bidding up here, that's for sure. It's not something that interests me. These are the moves that we were expecting today. Where are they given this morning? All right, any pullbacks that hold and extensions into this range might well fail and pull back into. So exactly what we've just talked about. Mag's looking great though. And I'm kind of annoyed with myself that I even took a partial on AMD. Hey, it's all right, almost 7% up. Coop, are you still in the leaps on that? I think we look really good. If market starts breaking, we look really good. PayPal finding a bit of a bid as well, which is good. Neo as well perking a bit. ALB going to go back for that move to 100, so still in that long. Hond, woo! Holy crap! Coop, sell some Hond, man. Woo! What a SPAC! Let's go! What an absolute beauty! What a beauty! What a beauty! Hilarious. It's the first SPAC I've looked at for ages, man. Happy last 6 months with the IREN. Yes, well, exactly, Zar. It's unfortunately I'm not in IREN. I've been tried to be in it multiple times. It will not pick me up. It absolutely will not pick me up. Do you post your swing trades in Discord? Yes, but there's a channel in there called Swing Trades. Yes, is the answer. So this year we've been swing long in ALB, Hond, OSCR, AMD, Apple, and Open. Open was the biggest winner this year. I think we got 400 or 500% on Open. We were long from, I was long from 198. I'm actually still holding one share just for shits and giggles. But yeah, sold it all into the move into 11 and 12s. No worries, Nihal. Just wait for it to reset up. You can just wait now. This is trying to curl and hold. Potential squeezes on here because they've just built volume and they've just found acceptance above volume. All right, they've just found acceptance above here. So this is TP now and this is TP. So here you go, re-squeeze. Like I said, they can keep squeezing if they want to. ES is lagging behind now. For me, I'm not going to buy up here, but this is the target, 28, and then this is the edge of the profile right here. So this here is where we have trap buyers. They're trying to get this move to test this edge. ES has already done it, which is why I'm not interested in buying up here. But if they can force the squeeze up, that's where they're going to look to go. So this is the edge of H1. This is the edge of that profile. Right, that's what they're trying to trade into. For me, we've had the move. I'm honestly happy. I don't need to be forcing my hand. You know how I play. Anyone who turns up every day knows. Once we hit and take the low-hanging fruits, the probability of anything else vastly diminishes. All right, so we have already had a 216-point move up. We had like a 100-point move down. We bid off that. We've had 300 points of rotation today. That's more than enough to make money. We do not need to overtrade. If something else sets up, we'll take it, but I'm not going to be buying up here. It can go higher without me if it really wants to. Right, VIX back down into previous day low. There is a bid on the tape down here at 25,060. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Let me check the algos as well. $175. Yeah, there is an offer on the edge. Again, it's beyond my my taste. Greed is tempting to buy back in, but I made so much money today, I don't want to give it back. I mean, you've answered yourself there, haven't you? We don't trade greed, we trade setups. You made your money, stop clicking buttons. Just be like, hey, no more clicking buttons for me. Yeah, missed it, Tyson. Sorry, dude. Next trade mentality now, mate. Just wait for the next setup. There, missed it. We were long off the trap down here. I really wanted to size in. Where were we? Around here. I was looking for one more pullback to really size in heavy here, but it just didn't come. We just ripped. Okay, back into that balance. If we start letting go of the underside of this balance, you will find all buyers getting trapped, and we are very thin in here, right? Very, very thin. It can easily drop back down. Maybe check an RBS. Maybe check all the way back down here if it really wants to. This is why I'm not willing to buy up here. Yeah, maybe it keeps squeezing. I don't play maybes. I like firm structure where I know one side's trapped. I'm not going to become part of liquidity. When signing up for funding ticks, it asks for a referral code. What's this for? Oh, FCT. That would get you more money off. FCT. It would just get you an extra whatever the best offer is. Yeah, initial balance now set as well. So if we're going to go into an IB day, you have purple here, we can go in a rotation. So a failed auction might be a poke through here, back to the top of IB, fail the IB, and back towards New York VWAP, and then IB low down here. I don't think we'll come back for the IB low today. I don't think we will. Could easily be wrong. No codes for Top Step, mate. I don't work with Top Step, and I won't work with Top Step because I hate Project X. It's a shame, man, because their firm is good. You can get massive payouts, but I do not want to use Project X. The only time I'm going to use them is if there's a good trade copier which I can execute on Ninja and it works with Project X. Until that happens, I'm not interested. And I don't think TradeSyncer is the one right now. And I am about to use affordable indicators copier. Need to test it out, and I'm in talks with them about whether they can fix something for Project X, because that would be a bit of a game changer. It could add so many firms then. Okay, so they're trying to break out. There's your IB high. If you get a continuation squeeze, you have TP. So if you're still holding runners, sort of 128s, and then into this sort of block up here, all right, I would not be long in here personally. Maybe it suits some of you. Maybe some of you play like these dips into flow zones. Just because I'm not long doesn't mean it's a short, by the way. There's absolutely no structure here to suggest it's a short. All right, we've not had a break of liquidation and a trade back inside to offer that move. All right, but for me, it's beyond my taste of long. I can see it coming for these, but it's way beyond my my palette, let's say. No, Topset don't do an affiliate program, but it's not even that. I don't even trade with them. Beyond affiliate stuff, I don't trade with them because they only offer Project X. I hate that. I hate the attempt of a control of a monopoly by Michael. I get it for business, but I don't trade with Project X and I never will. Dark recordings. Would I mind explaining my narrative on entry? Yep. No worries. Okay. Key structure point from yesterday here. All right. We were trying to bid off here yesterday, not like us, but the market was trying to bid off here to complete the rotation. All right. They got stuck. We built liquidity. We got a liquidation break end of day. News helped drive that down. We walked it back, all right, overnight. So coming into the open today, what did we say? Well, I'm not going to buy high at the open. We've got some swing positions here where there will be lots of stops. All right. If we can trade into this RBS zone and knock out some of these bulls who have chased the market higher, all right. At this point here, we're going to start triggering. Let me zoom in here. At this point here, 940, we're going to start triggering shorts. All right. Shorts are going to come in the market thinking that we're going to get a collapse all the way down, but they're going to ignore the fact that we've built out lots of volume here, indicated by previous day value area high, point of control, and RBS. We've broken back above a pivot. If we zoom out here, right, what we've done in this leg, low, high, higher low, higher high. We're looking for a higher low in this area. Right, and we're looking for shorts to get trapped. So that's the area of interest. It was always the area of interest. So once we get below these swings here, 940 and Globex, I'm already perked my interest. Then we think about how we built this liquidity. Gonna have to get rid of this for a second so I can draw it out for you. All right, where do shorts enter? Well, smart shorts would have been entering up here maybe and covering down here, but most people are not smart shorts, and I'd argue I wouldn't really have wanted to be short at all today. So most are entering under here, under here, under here. All right, they're looking for breakdown, breakdown, breakdown. What happens here? Previous day point of control, previous day value area high, VWAP. All we do, bid off VWAP, they short back down. We do one sweep under here, buyers absorb the tape, right in point of control, we reclaim VWAP instantly, big shift up, we reclaim value area high. This is the market telling you, hey, we have no acceptance, we are not going to have acceptance in the previous day's range. We want to hold the previous day's range and move higher. We want to continue the uptrend, right? That's why. So you had everything lining up there. And if you didn't like bidding off like the shift here or this engulfing or any of this, it gave you the opportunity then to just wait for the reclaim, right? Even if you're a trend trader, all right, there's your key, all right? There's reclaim of New York. There's reclaim of previous day high, right? That's why the pro trend, at least on the H1, said to me that this was probable today. That ends as we get into these. I'm not interested as we get into these. So if we think about what value is in the New York session, if we opened here, the blue line, this was discount. And this was yesterday's premium becomes today's discount. And this is fair value actually. So we bid off fair value from yesterday. We're now into premium. We don't want to be bidding up here. That makes sense? Same reason, same thing yesterday, all right? Yesterday, all these buyers who were attempting to buy up here in our channel, we were like, we don't want to bid up here. This is thin structure. Where's value? 750s. That's why it collapsed. There's no structure here. We collapse. Find bids, walk it back up, all right? So everyone who got washed out here, smart money bids it back up. does the same move. It's the same exact kind of thing here on a smaller scale. All right, bulls get trapped at the open or before the open. This kind of move here is the same as this. This is the same as this. We liquidate them and we take it back up. Make sense? Hopefully that's helped you all. And the way we're building this is opening up for a dunk. All right, the way we're building this is opening up for a dunk. It doesn't have to do it, but if we have a look at the profile, it's probably not looking the best up here. We're probably building a ton of liquidity out here and very thin below. Where's that gone? Why aren't you drawing it? There we go. So dunk available now. Lots of liquidity built here. This is not bullish structure. This isn't too bad in this part. All right, this is the midpoint of this. This is your liquidity build. These are all the buyer stops. So what are the options here? Well, if they really snap and let go, we can come deep and back check some of these. If they want to trap, what will they do? They'll probably come under, wash, reclaim, build it to go higher. I'm not going to bid in a squeeze up. Like we said, if you're good at holding runners, unfortunately, I've sold my position up here. But if you're good at holding runners, if this wants to be really nasty today and just do one of these like we did in the summer months and keep going and going and going and going and going, you might get another 50 points out of it. But I'm definitely not bidding for that move. The longs were down here. They're not up here. And if we start snapping below this, they will either trap or they will do a nasty wash because we haven't got much volume until down here right now. There we go. No worries. So did you enter after that 3-candle SFP formed on the bottom? I got long. I'm going to check. Soon as we reclaimed here, I got a piece on. And then I added here and here, and I was waiting here to get size. So this is small size, and I was waiting to get size. So I never got the size I wanted. If we had pulled back to this and held, I would have gone full size in here because we've shifted then for that move. Now, this is risky, yes, but it's just based on higher time frame narrative. Once I saw this volume come in and the sweep and reclaim and back through Asia is where I started getting long. It felt probable. And I had an attempt at it earlier as well. Where was the attempt earlier? Was it this one? We had one here as well. Same kind of move. Sweep, reclaim, long, and we got like 40 points out of it. 40s to, yes, this one here. Had an attempt at that and then cut the runner break even. I was looking for the same thing. So you can see I'm early, but I'm looking for this move. I'm looking for this move and eventually it happens. All right, so liquidation possible here. Possible here. So traps will live sort of under 85s, break strong under 85. We can revisit previous day structure. All right, so previous week value area low. If they want to hold us inside a previous week range, they will hold that. If they need to check previous day and VWAP, we get a rotation from IB high to VWAP. I'm not playing any rotations today. I'm done. I'm done unless something really juicy sets up. All right, probably half of you watching haven't hit that like button. Please, please smash that like button for me. Please, please, please. How are you doing, Alex? I'm almost with the free eval that I won last week. I have an issue holding my winners. What's your advice? That's probably the thing that comes in last to trading. It will just come with confidence in your setups. It will come with understanding where the market is probable to go to. And it will come with, you know, not oversizing, right? So ES, you can see, is tagged that level. Remember we said 65-ish, right? We're tagging. We might come back and revisit all the way down here. Now, the reason for that is, again, the edge of supply. Where's the balance range on ES? This is what we were talking about. This is why I watch multiple assets. Look, this is my left screen, so you can see it. This is the edge of the balance range up here, right? So we expect us to fail in here on a first attempt. That's why we're cautious and we take money off the table as we approach key levels on other indexes. Oh, nice. Thank you, Clint. Did you have to reboot for that? Right, let me close this down. Save, no, reopen. See if it works. Thank you, mate. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so they're trying to hold the edge of this volume. You can see right here, volume node right here, it's sort of 88s down to 85s. They're trying to find a bid off this at the moment. So they've taken out an internal. They're still trying to hold this. No liquidation break for bears yet. Wait, it looks like it's working. No market data available to route live entry orders. I don't know if it's fully working yet. See money, take money. I mean, yes. I don't know where. It all depends where your entries are. So, you know, for me, I take money off the table at key levels. So if I'm getting long here, this is a big level. I'm taking money off the table. This is a big level. I'm taking money off the table. If we get high in towards here and we start not getting that move like here, I'm taking money off the table. Right? I'm not willing to let this come all the way back down. This is a 200-point move. And this, we are in an initial balance now. It's very, very likely that we come and back test this. But I would say the edge of this is very, very key. They can stop hunt here and come back inside. But if they fail the initial balance and bulls get trapped who are buying high, who have not been buying value, they've bought premium, this becomes available. All depends what their plan is today. ES failing that 65. So all of you who traded ES, you should have, like we talked about, locked in money in that move to 65. We've got a seller on the book. I don't know if he's a Mr. Spoofer. Let's see if he's real. 705 at 120. Let's check over here. No. All right, that's the market maker providing liquidity. I'm going to leave it on just so I can see him doing this liquidity shuffle. 943. You got a 943. I mean, that's an awesome buy. Where did you sell? Where did you sell? If you sold anywhere up into 25.50s, then it was pretty good. How do I know, Michael? It's just the difference in when you look at Bookmap. All right, it's a liquidity provider, so market maker or institutional liquidity provider. Because when I move over to this filter, it takes all of this out of us. So this is normal sort of sizing on the tape. And over here also shows liquidity providers like here. So you can see when we're pinned in, this will show it. All right, so you can see how we're going to have 705. If you look at Bookmap, see that big red line above me, 705 lot, and I move over to this filter, it's not there. That's how I know. So it's highly likely that this is just a liquidity provider. Doesn't mean it doesn't get filled. It absolutely doesn't. It will get filled, but it's just a different type of order. Remember, the market has to provide liquidity for us at all times. 25.025, Alice. You went from 43 to 25.025, mate. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good trade. 43. So the reclaim of previous day value area high. 25.025, taking out the pre-market high. That is a very good trade. I wouldn't be upset with yourself there. I know we squeezed beyond that, but that's a pretty good trade. And you only had one contract on, so there's no way of you really holding a runner. Now, if you had two contracts on, right, then you would have been able to take your profit at 25.025, maybe move a stop into like 975-ish and wait for that expansion higher. But when you're trading with one contract, I don't blame you for taking profit there. I don't blame you at all. Okay, this is starting to feel very similar to yesterday. Building out liquidity here. All right, traps will live either side of this. Bear traps can live under here. Bull traps can live above here. And liquidation breaks can also be present for clean breakaways. But I do not want to trade in this volume. This is an edge now. Like, if you like trading range, you can buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this, rinse, repeat. For me, I don't like doing that. But this can be reaccumulation. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule out that this is reaccumulation to get here. I'm not going to trade it, but I'm not going to rule it out. Let's have a quick look at the mag. So all of them up right now. Tesla 2.20% up. Nvidia 1.5% up. Microsoft just under 0.5% up. Meta over 2% up. Google 2.33% up. Amazon flat. Piece of crap. Apple 1.17% up. And as an equally weighted whole, they're up just under 1.5%. AMD absolutely pumping. Let me have a look at this. Yes. Yes. That's what we want. Man, I shouldn't have taken any profit at all. But there we go. I'm just concerned when we start to sell yesterday. I'm not going to give back. Remember, I'm long from 58s. So it's long from here. I don't want this gap to be filled. I want this to be a breakaway gap. And we just keep going up to here, please. Pretty please. Okay. Oh, some more liquidity up there now. 120, 135. So 1,400 lots around there. I'm going to use the bathroom, which means you know what's going to happen. And I'll be back in just a moment, team. Oh, what? Normally would have already dumped before I get back. Oh, maybe it's coming now. It's back just in time for it. All right, ES pulling back towards its VWAP. Yeah, but you see how they just left, Miguel? That's just a liquidity provider. They just left the book. Yeah, I mean, Ali, I don't know what size you're trading. So, you know, if you're trading one mini, for example, you can always move up and trade, you know, 10 micros. I know it's going to cost you more in fees, but it means you might be able to hold that runner. All right, ES just traded back down towards 50s. It's trying to find a bid there. It's got New York VWAP just below it. Let me just check SPY. Heavily extended away from anything right now. VIX just basing out at previous day lows at the moment. So I wonder, do we build out some liquidity in this section here? And do we have a balanced day? Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And this H1 been in a big drive this morning. The last two H1 bars. It's, for me, this can be a giant two-leg pullback on a daily. I want to be very cautious about thinking about any longs up into this area. It's very, very dangerous, in my opinion, based on the daily structure. That's why you have to understand zooming out. You must get used to zooming out. I know lots of people say zoom out, but do you understand why? Can you see the levels? Can you see where volume is trapped? That's all that really matters. Once you understand that, it's going to make your life a lot easier. You want to trade in good locations. Good locations, good momentums. The two things we always ask. Right now, momentum, or at least this morning, I wouldn't say now, but bullish momentum. Location, great down here, not very good up here. Momentum now, sideways. All right, this can be the start of distribution if they can't hold it. All right, if they need to do lower time frame distribution, so do you want to be long here? No. Where are they likely to come? Here, 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 even down here if they really want to. All right, liquidity built here. So you don't want to be long here and get caught in that, do you? You want to wait for it to come to a better location and momentum to come on back on your side for the rotation up where we have stops we can attack. That might be a play for later. Might be a play for tomorrow. What I would say is the amount of moves we did yesterday, I would say was the equivalent to 3 days worth of moves. If you think about it, the big sell-off on Monday night into Tuesday, that's at least a day's worth of action. The grind all the way back up to 25k, that's another day's worth of action. And that fast sell-off end of day from 25k to 700, another day's worth of action. So yesterday we had 3 days worth, I would say. All right, 5 minutes till we get a new hourly candle here. See what we get on the new hour. Let's see what we get. Is everyone doing good? Anyone got any questions? Hopefully most of you should have locked in some money. Let's get these likes up a little bit and we can do a giveaway. What should we give away today? We'll give away one Apex account and one free introduction to trading course. Oh, Jacob, that's nice to read. Congratulations. Jacob just passed 25k account. If 2,500 not hit in 7 days on Apex 50 eval, must wait for account to be reset and attempting passing. So you need to hit 3,000. So it's 3,000 profit target, and you don't have to do it in 7 days. It's in a month. So no, not in 7 days. We just roll over. And even if you don't do it in, you know, in that first month, they'll just keep your profits and you roll over to the next month. Jazu Jadu. Alex, I truly respect you and please accept my heartfelt and deepest thanks for all you do. God bless. Thank you so much, Jazu. God bless you. God bless everyone who turns up every day and makes my job a bit more fun, because trading is a very, very lonely sport otherwise. I love trading with you guys. I love hearing the success stories. It's fantastic. Fills my cup. Trading's actually doesn't do a lot for me. It doesn't do a lot for me. Helping people, that is what fills my cup. That's what makes me feel good. I couldn't give two monkeys about trading. I don't really care in many ways. I love, yes, I get the adrenaline and I get the dopamine hit, but I love knowing that you guys are making money with me. That's what gets me going. Some of the messages I've had recently are absolutely wonderful. Seeing you guys pay off your mortgages or being able to treat your wife or pay for your kids' school stuff. I've had a lot of that recently in September and October. Really nice to see. I admire your patience, and that's the key. Yes, patience. What we talk about. I always talk about this as a game. All this is a giant game. It's a massive game, folks. Who's the king of the game? I'd say Trump right now is the king of the game, right? He's making the rules. He's forcing people's hands, right? We're just little minions, so we need to understand what the game is. The game is a game of liquidity and getting people trapped, and then we want to join, ideally, when one side's trapped, and just make a little bit of money, pay for whatever we need to pay for, and then wait for the next thing to happen in the game. And like we talk about, very similar to if you play Call of Duty or something like that. You want to be a sniper. You don't want to be a noob on the sticks playing against a pro player, walking into a room, running around, shooting your own teammates in hardcore mode, and treading on mines and getting blown up and all this stuff. Right? We're just patient. We wait for the easy shots. We want a high kill death ratio. That means we wait for the noobs to come to us and then we kill them. Right? Where were the noobs this morning? The noobs came to us right here. They went, "Oh my god, the market's puking. Oh my god, let's get short down here in the worst possible area." All right, these right here were the noobs. All right. Once those noobs came in with their machine gun and they started treading on the mines here and they were like blowing up everywhere. All right. Then we went, "Hey, let's snipe some of these noobs for easy kill death." Right? Boom! And then we went, "We win. We just won. Thanks for playing, noobs. Thanks for playing." All right? That's the job. And it doesn't matter whether you're trading futures, crypto, stocks. It doesn't matter what you're trading. That's your job. Right? Once you realize that is the game, that's all you got to do. I reckon you'd be copy trading my accounts if I want to give it a try. All right, ES finding a bid off that 50. All right, that's why we're seeing a bit of a bid here at the moment. We're still trading the edge of this range. Like I said, if you like range trading, I hate range trading, but you can see this range here is being built out. All right, so if you want to sell this and buy this, oh God, who knows if that comes, but it's available. We haven't completed the move yet on NQ. Remember, the move is white line and red box. If this is accumulation, this would be TP, this is TP. I'm not playing this. It's way too risky for me. It's actually not a bad range here in terms of size. Most of it is in here. 30 plus point rotation. It's not something I would play. This feels like an absolute death trap for me, which is why I'm not going to touch it. Did you see how he mugged off UK PM yesterday? The day before, yeah, when he invited him on stage. Where's the UK? And then just shook his hand and turned around and carried on talking. Yeah, I did. It was fantastic. Because Starmer is an absolute cretin, so the more that guy gets mugged off, the better. I'm curious now, what's the last Call of Duty you played? Whatever the most recent Warzone is. I haven't played for 5+ months, but occasionally get on the sticks on there. I haven't played for a long time. On funding ticks, is it better to pass an eval and cash out as soon as you're eligible for payout and continue to grow the account, or just buy a new one and restart? Well, Shad, that's a good question. That's really comes down to your own personal finances. If you have not regularly taken payouts before, I would always say, in many ways, take the payouts as soon as a payout is available, right? Because then it becomes real money. That's proof that you can do this as a career and a job, and then you can use that money to buy more accounts. If you've had many payouts before and you want to build that buffer, then obviously don't take the payout. Wait for that buffer to be built. But yeah, that's very, very personal. I would say that's very much dependent on your experience. But if you haven't taken a payout before or you don't regularly take it when it's there. Reinvest some of it into getting more accounts so you can start scaling up and use some of it on things that you need, like bills, or take your wife or husband or daughter or son or mum or dad out for a nice meal. You must be like rewarding yourself every now and again as this range rotation continues. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to be long in this. I'd be exhausted if I was long in this. No, I've not seen it, Aaron. I want to go and see it because a friend of mine actually worked on the like, I don't know what you'd call it, visual effect architecture type stuff for it. The design, set design. How do you manage your profits? How do you spend it, invest it? So I withdraw it. Some goes in an account for tax. Most of it goes into a long-term swing trading account. So it gets invested, and some of it obviously I have to pay myself and goes on bills and stuff like that, which isn't fun. And every now and again, normally once a year, I treat myself to something. So last year, I was a bit naughty. I bought 2 watches. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. I haven't bought myself much this year, I don't think, really. I paid for a few holidays and stuff. Was eyeing up a Daytona. Told myself, you can't do that. You bought 2 watches last year. You can't do that. Absolute addict. So I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, and won't. Trying desperately not to do that, to be honest. My watch collection is fairly significant. I really don't need to add any more to my watch collection, but I know I will. It's an addictive hobby. But do you use electronic trading hours or regular trading hours option in TradingView? I use electronic so that I can see overnight. But we use this, it's just on regular, so 9:30 and extended. This is extending, right? Oh my god, it's not extending. There we go. I got my PC back today. Should be trading with you tomorrow. Awesome, Aaron. Says that I blew 200 evaluations and 30 PAs approximately. After 5 years, I got 250k PA trade copiers. Today, 6,000 done. Well, you made 6,000, do you say? No, 6,000 is a lot of money. It's good work. Just take it slow. Don't oversize. ES still looks like it wants to come down to view up. So it's ES, remember, completed the move this morning. It came up here. It's done this, and it's doing this at the moment down to here. This is what ES is doing. Very different to what we're doing. If ES comes down to here and finds a bid, maybe we complete that move. But we're slightly disjointed in terms of where we are structurally now. VIX is still just basing out at previous day low. It hasn't broken under previous day low, hasn't let go of any of it. It's basing out. If it starts finding bids, it failed at 20 today. I would be very careful if it gets back through 20. Here goes ES into its view up. So 750 and view up key on ES. If it fails that, it's going to come and back test structure that we broke out of the 41s. If it fails that, it's going to go to 24-hour view up at 38, so there or thereabouts. If it fails that, it's going to come and gut check the low, which is 5-day, 20-day, IB low, previous day high, all stacked. I would imagine ES will find a bid at some point. Don't think we'll go down there, but hey, we will see. We will see. Right, make sure you're sticking with me. Maybe we'll do one giveaway now, and we'll do another giveaway in an hour. It's blowing up my phone again. Morning, Raf. Caesar bought my first Ducati last year with trading. What did you get? Oh, I have a nice collection of bikes, but most of my bikes are back in London. So I don't really have anything fast. Well, I do. I have a old school Kawasaki ZZR 1100, but my main beauty and the beast is a Triumph Thunderbird 1600. That is my main one. And then over here I have got a Harley Nightster. Right, let's get you a giveaway then, folks. Smash that like button for me, and let's do this giveaway. Yeah, well, I've left them. Well, I just will not sell my Nightster. It's too precious, too sentimental for me to sell. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is give away an Apex account. Now, I'm going to tell you, Apex are very, very kind to us here. So we can give away one Apex account, any size, as ever, right? I think, does the sale end tomorrow, folks? The sale might end tomorrow. Let me double check. I'm not very good at remembering this stuff right now. It's horrific. Yes. Okay. 1 day, 12 hours. Okay. So you've got, it ends, tomorrow is what? Thursday. So it ends Friday. So you've got until Friday to get 80% off your Apex accounts, any size, and $85 for activation fee, any size. This is your last chance. There is not a sale coming for a little while from what I've been told. So it's now or never, really. If you want to load up, now is the time to do it. I would say, and this isn't me being biased, if you want to use bigger size accounts, 150k, 250k, 300, if you want to do that, this market is a good market to do it in. Why? Because we're being offered bigger range and bigger ATR, which means you don't need to oversize. You can make more profits in this market with smaller size on those big accounts. So just consider that. If you're looking to do it, now's a good time to do it. Okay, let's get going here and run it. So if you want to support me and this stream with Apex, then you use my code FZT. You use that same code on all of the prop firms out there other than Take Profit Trader, which is Flowzone. So let's run this now. So type FZT in chat. We're doing Apex giveaway. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. So FZT, just type it once in chat and we will do an Apex giveaway. Land Cruisers are pretty cool though. I like that, Dark Recordings. Still just dancing around this POC at the moment. No change here. ES coming into its VWAP, New York VWAP. Let me have a look at the book on ES. Very thick down here. They're trying to bid off 45s. Is there much below? It gets a bit thin down. Well, no, it's thick down to 30. We've got a little bit of a gap there. 25 to, so maybe a single print between 25 and 20 by the looks of it. All right, let's pull this winner. And we'll do one more giveaway at the end of today. We'll give away a Flowzone Introduction to Trading course. Right, winner will be announced in chat. Okan Tata, is that how you say it? Okan Tata, are you here, Okan? Let me know you're here. Yes, breaking down here. So here's the liquidation break on NQ. All those buyers up there got trapped now. Okan, you need to let me know that you're here, my friend. There you are. Great. All right, just email me info@flowzonetrader.com and just show me the back end of your YouTube so I can see that it's you, and I'm going to sort you out with an Apex account for free. Okay, so we're coming back down to previous week value area low. We're very thin in here. Make sure this is extending properly. We're very thin in here. ES under its New York VWAP, SPY into its 24-hour VWAP, VIX starting to find a bid off previous day low. And this is why I don't bid in these ranges, right? This is very much like yesterday, liquidation break. Now, what I would say, though, is if they find a bid today, I don't know where they find that bid, and they reclaim this area, then I would imagine this will be the move, all right? Because we've got unfinished business up here on NQ. Right, so if they trap and reclaim, so if this is a build of liquidity, a wash, a snapback, a reclaim, this becomes probable. Yeah, congrats, Ocam. So at the end of today, we'll also give away an introduction to investing and trading. Give away one of those courses. If you've already done the course before or you've done the beginner to advanced course, it's up to you. You can give that. I will let you give it to one of your friends, or we can just re-roll. Okay, so watching this now. If they reclaim that, if they reject this, a new low can come. If they reclaim this edge here and start trading in here, this can be a bear trap. We talked about that for a long time, all right? How we respond now after breaking away is key. Do we respond with a sell back down to VWAP, or do we go instant reclaim here and a push back up? And SPY's found a bid on its VWAP on the spiders. Hopefully this is making sense to you. I'm trying to show you what you would be looking for. Again, I'm not interested right now. I'm not playing shorts today. It would have to really break down for me, especially when we've left unfinished business. This is going to sound nuts, but I'm more interested in shorts underneath low day now that we've done this move. I want to join when I know one side is well and truly stuck. I'm not convinced that the bearish move is the main move today. So SPY bidding off VWAP. ES coming back towards its New York VWAP. If it reclaims this, it can potentially rotate back towards IB high today. Let's see how the ATR has slowed right down. We have good volume down here, though. Good volume. Big sell volume on the liquidation break. They're trying to bid back up to this POC, this kind of edge here at 85s. They reclaim this. This will be the bear trap. We drew this out maybe an hour ago. Decision point, decision point. Do sellers come back in and say, hey, no, we're going leg down and rotation? Or do buyers say, hey, we just trapped you, idiots? We're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see. Right now, all I know is right now, buyers in here and are stuck. And if we reclaim that, sellers who took the breakout sell here will be stuck. And that is the biggest volume. Right, so this POC becomes absolutely critical right now in what we do next. So far rejecting that. There we go. So rejecting that, ES rejecting VWAP. Retesting this low here, retesting previous week value area low. Remember, if they bid Above this, we're going to hold previous week's value. All right, previous week's value is to all the way to these old all-time highs, basically. That's previous week's value. If we reject back under it, we probably come and back test New York view up and New York open and these kind of areas here. All right, so if they fail this, we're very thin in here down to here. All right, this becomes not too hard for them to potentially do. We do lack structure, like we talked about. This move up was straight up. If we think about the pullback of that leg, right, 50% would be to the New York Open. This area here, if we hold New York view up, would be a potential flag play. All right, if we do something like this, that would not be an uncommon move. 25,000-ish will be key. Will be key, that whole number. Liquidity definitely starting to sort of dry up a little bit here. What time is the next Fed member talking? 12:10, so we've got a while. Oh. Spider's just holding their view up at the moment. Spike high to 20. Look at that, really. Oh, bored here at the moment. So ES completed its rotation, got to supply, rejected that 765 like we talked about, has now traded back down to view up. SPY coming back down to view up, well, it's under view up now, and it's retesting the spiders, its pre-market high. So I'd say I would not be surprised if spiders find a bid in here soon. If they fail to find that bid, IB to IB is not out the question. All right, so spiders basically already have done like a much better move in many ways, right? They came back into here, they failed to make a new high, they've drifted under here, and they're back to coming back into that. All right, so really, really nice technical trade on the SPY or the ES. Yeah, exactly, Todd. ES hit wasn't it was the bottom. So ES hit the bottom of the previous range. So that old balance range, ES hit the bottom of it. First time we've done it. Trump talking about BTC reserves today, is he? What time is he doing that? So Barron's going to become a trillionaire today, is what you're telling me. If I want to use VIX's Confluence, can I check what's DO VIX Zone New York Open on Nasdaq to confirm my order long? I mean, VIX is more Confluence for ES, but it's more heavily traded, which is why I watch it. But like, look at the VIX bouncing off previous day low at the moment. So that's what I'm watching. VIX is basically in a 1 point range. So previous day low trading at 17s. We failed 20s today in front of 20s. Oh, daily open. Sorry, daily open. Yes, you could. You could absolutely use daily open. I just have VIX zoomed out on like a 5, 10 or 15 minute chart. I just want to see what the key levels are that we traded at the last few days. So like we came back down to an old close level this morning, filled an old gap, held previous day low, failed to 20s, come back to previous day low, we're grinding back up. If we break 1990s and 20s, there's a gap fill to 20.33. If we break that, there's an old high and a gap close to 20.82. If we break that, we've got an old volume trap above 2135s. So So use it just in exactly the same way. And if it lines up, then we've got Confluence. If we get scenarios where we're drifting higher and VIX drifting higher, then you know, hey, something's up here. We need to be careful. Yeah, AMD on a massive squeeze. We're up 20 points here. Fantastic. 8.75% up. I love it. I want to break out. Like I said, I had to take a little bit of profits yesterday just in case we went for gap fill. But I'm holding most of my position, and I really want to hold this for 300 to 500s over the next few years. That's the plan, and to add into it on any dips, really. That's the plan. Same with Apple. Need Apple to get above 260 break on Apple, and then I think we have a run to 300s. And Amazon as well. We're in a huge long-term base. If Amazon earnings come out good, which I imagine they will, then I think we can have a big breakout on Amazon. Ideally. That's what I'd like. All right, we're finding a bid in front of previous day high here. ES just trading around its VU up around that pre-market high on the spiders like we talked about. So this is previous day high, this red line right here. VU up under low. Want to see if we're going to do that kind of bear trap today, we're going to need to see a shift. So we're going to need to see a nasty swipe and a shift back up, and then you'd be partial into here. And if it takes out the flat top high, which I'd imagine, then we can squeeze up higher. If we go full rotation, all right, we have no real structure unless we get down here. So if we go full rotation, it can come all the way down here if it really wants to. Failing under 900s today, guess what? We're opening up the move to 7. Just have to say what's there. Rotation can still be available. If we can't hold 25k, rotation can still be available. Very, very possible. How long we got left here? 40 minutes. 40 minutes. We'll do another giveaway at the end. Or not even that long. 36 minutes. I am hungry. I might need to get some food here in a second. Mom! Meatloaf! Where's my meatloaf? If I talk to my wife like that, she will throw me out the window. So pre-market highs here on spiders. Left buyers trapped at those highs so far. Rotation very much possible. Got an edge down here into sort of 25s. Don't like the lack of liquidity though, but that's what's there. Let me just check what we built out overnight. What does this look like? Yeah, 25,000, big pocket there. And then 970s. Very thin. Under 50 to 40. So 10-point thin range. Under 50 to 40. Yeah, that makes sense. Spy trying to find a bid around that VWAP at the moment. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of food and a refill here, and then hopefully we can get set up. Lazy ass dog. Get out there, Luna. Yeah. All right. Oh. You're trying to find a bid. All right. POC still above us right now. All right. That's the battleground. So SPY finding a bid on pre-market. It's trying to reclaim VWAP. Battleground above us. So right now, this is your edge of supply. This is where buyers are stuck above. And then we have another one right here. Okay, no real structure yet to play off in terms of bids. That was more just ES finding or SPY finding a bid on pre-market. Dollar coming down, is it? Yeah. Where's GC today? 420s. That's way overextended. Where's silver? Because that is even more overextended at the moment. Man, this is looking toppy up here. Blowout volume. One more push. One more good push there. Comex. There's a good short coming here soon on silver. Just a mean reversion. Not like a complete collapse, but there's a mean reversion short coming here. Definitely. Definitely a mean reversion short coming here soon. All right. We just got stuck at POC there, I think. They just sold it again. Sorry, I missed that while I was looking at the metals. We said no real structure here. ES back to 24-hour VWAP. SPY underneath it. So far, sales holding up. That supply up there, holding up. Buyers are trapped over that. So what you know right now, buyers are trapped over that. Sellers are defending that level, and they're looking for rotation. So the IB to VWAP, you've almost got it. You've got it on all the other indexes. We haven't had it on an NQ yet. So anyone who's traded that, you're almost there. Again, it's not a trade I'm playing today. Yeah, definitely, Christopher. Definitely risk off, but the metals, I would say silver's actually more overextended now than gold. So it was the catch-up trade. Same as like lithium and palladium, sorry, and what was the other one? My brain is not working properly. It's because I don't trade metals. Oh, nice BU. Yeah, I think it's just due a pullback. The green VWAP down here. This is 24-hour. This is New York. So this is anchored to the 9:30 open print. This is anchored for the 24-hour print. All right. So that follows on from the new market open at 6 o'clock. This is off New York. So this is cash players. It's basically telling you where cash is in the market. Yes, letting go now. Right into that pre-market high on SPY. We're into that previous week value area low kind of area, previous day high area. This is, if they're going to bid, they're going to need to bid here. If they don't bid soon, we can get a deeper rotation. We are thin in here. We have built out some liquidity here. It can trade all the way down here if it really wants to. It's possible. Well, short-term bonds are down about 0.5% today. The 10 years. Previous day are high all around here. ES 24-hour VWAP. Still in a sell here. Market rotating off those highs aggressively right now. So leaving buyers trapped at those highs. Back down to the 25k would not surprise me in the slightest at this point. VWAP coming up here for the QQQ as well, folks. VWAP coming up for QQQ. So back down towards that opening range. Aggressive selling coming in here. Like we said, we're thin in here. We can rotate. VIX finding a bid off that previous day low. Still not broken out of its New York high, 1990s. Lower time frame algo and opening range and New York open all stacked up at that 25,000. It's going to be a big level, that 25,000, I would say. It's going to be a big level. The ES looking like it wants to complete a full rotation. Mags still all look pretty good other than Amazon. Amazon relative weakness today, 0.5% down. Let's have a look at the Mag. Yeah, Mag in a sell as an index right now. Coming back down to that previous day high. All right, so here's the New York Open, lower time frame algo, opening range, all in this area here. This is going to be key at 25,000. If they don't hold this, we can go low of day. We go back into the rotation between 25,000 and what did we say? 700s. This is hit. It's now or never. They don't save this. They're in big, big trouble. We go back into that rotational kind of zone. So remember, that's what we said. We're in a rotational market. We're inside initial balance. We don't really have any volume until we get down to here. So lower time frame algo tagged, opening range high tag, 25,000, pretty much tagged, not quite tagged. And previous week open there as well. You've got lots of areas here. If they fail this, we go lower. If they find a bid here, ES all the way back down to its initial balance low. Strong selling coming in. Strong selling coming in here. So buyers trapped at the high again, like we talked about. That's why we do not buy high. We got the squeeze up today. We're done with the day. We just wait. There's the flush through that key level. Lower we go then into VWAP. Do they hold VWAP? Have they got any interest in holding VWAP? Edge of value, value area low on the current session. There is some volume below here. Oh, ES getting absolutely murdered here. Back down to 20-day. And breakout pullback will be into this zone here. Waiting. Impressive liquidation here so far, I would say. What's this value area low? Make sure I move it on Ninja. Same area. There we go. All right, ES approaching current low of day, previous day high, initial balance low. VIX approaching high of New York session. I'm not seeing any comments here, so just a liquidation break, I think, at the moment. Even those buyers trapped at the highs and a rotation. Unless you guys can see any comments, I can't see any at the moment. So ES previous day high, now been hit, initial balance low, now been swept. What's left beneath? Lots left beneath. Remember, we walked up all night. If they want to get really heavy, We've walked all this up all night. If they want to get really heavy, it's not out the question. We're in a rotational market. If they want to get really heavy, you cannot rule out all of this getting taken out. Somewhat unlikely, but very, very possible. Nice dark recordings. Yeah, I forgot you were short on that, weren't you? From the top of the range. Very nice on the liquidation break. It's a nice move. It's a nice move for that rotational play. All right, here's the reattempt of VWAP. ES trying to find a bid off previous day high, reclaiming initial balance here. We've traded back down to value area low. It's possible we can squeeze back up here. We've had a liquidation break. It's possible for a decent squeeze back up to 45s if the sellers don't come back in aggressively. Big ifs, buts, and maybes right now. I'm not really interested in these rotational plays. I like it when one side's definitely caught offside. We went sideways for ages. This was like yesterday. Like, you could argue this secondary tap in was a good short here, to be honest. Once we rejected once, that was probably a good short for that rotation back down to where we have structure. And ES breaking out, hit 20 and failed. ES, VIX, broke out, hit 20 and failed. So back towards that New York Open. ES finding a bid. 25,000 reclaim. Back inside current day's value, finding a bid off the low value. Can maybe trade up to 50s now if they really want to and see if there's some sellers up there. But no trade to retest structure to get long though. Here's the retest of that low. That small pivot low. We do have lots of buying that came in there. So just, are they going to hold this is the question, or is there a reflush coming? ES just dancing around IB low, previous day high. If they don't hold this, there's a big flush coming in ES, I would say. So rejecting that New York Open. Back into the opening range. Back inside the opening 5 minutes. So what's that rotation out? Like 216 points rotation out and like 150 plus rotation back downside so far. And if we don't hold previous day's value, then we're going to get acceptance into previous day's value. You cannot rule out a trade back down to 700. If they cannot hold above previous day's value, you cannot rule out a trade back down to 700, honestly. Okay, here's previous day value area high being checked here. That's what I mean. This is key. If they cannot absorb down here, we will go back into the previous day value. All right, which means 700 and gap fill can't be ruled out. How long we got left? 15 odd minutes. VIX on a breakout here through those 20s now. Well, it's at the 20s, I should say. Not through it, it's at it. So look at the H1 we talked about. While we don't get long at the high, think about a huge two-leg being completed. Like we talked about, it did just miss the level we would have liked to have seen it tag into. And now we're coming back down to those H1 lows and previous day point of control, previous day value area high. But think about the H1, the second leg from the low of Friday. We finished that breakout today above 25.50 was basically the second leg breakout, and now we're pulling back inside the range. So the question is, do higher time frame buyers want to complete a move higher, Or if we fail inside previous day's range, do we rotate more with a failed breakout and a second leg finishing high, which will allow potential head and shoulders on an H1 for a big, big, big move down higher time frame? This is the scary thing right now. We are building out a huge amount of liquidity in a 300-point range. And if that is a failed break above 25,050, it does leave availability for downside. There's no way you can deny that. ES under I below now. Why does this keep turning up? So bright. So all bulls in the New York session on ES now liquidated in the New York session. I'm going to zoom out here. Coming into pre-market low here on ES. If it lets go of that, obviously you have gap fill potential on ES. Still have relative strength on NQ right now. We are weak, but we have relative strength in terms of positioning. VIX really getting going through 20s now. Gap fill possible. Rotation, 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 rotation. That's all we're seeing. Not my favorite market. I like it when we get a pro trend. This morning was nice. Many of you have probably nailed this. Congratulations. Okay, bidding off previous day value area high at the moment. Maybe they come back towards the VWAP soon. We will have to see. Where's that 25K? It's basically the New York Open. ES probably coming back for an IB check here soon as well. Previous day high and IB check on ES possible. If they sell that, more lows. If they've trapped underneath, reclaim it, squeeze potential. No reclaim. Nice, Ken. Lots of volume being built up here right now. You can see it. Battle. ES does not look good, man. What's causing that drive down in ES? Is there a sector which has started letting go? Out of interest. I know we've got stuck at supply. I'm just interested, is there a sector that's weak? Amazon, major sell. Yeah, exactly, Bowden. We talked about that. Exactly the same. Well done, mate. Well done. Well, that's good. We had that convo yesterday where I said you won't forget this shape tomorrow or in another day, and it happened the next day. Literally next day, repeatable pattern. I don't like the look at this. I think this could get nasty soon. What's tough in this market is we build liquidity and then we move so fast away from it. And then we build liquidity for ages and then we move so fast away from it. There's no like stop and start. It's like go. 200 points. Boom. 200 points. Boom. Sideways. 200 points. Boom. Feels like there's more pain in this for me. It feels like there's more pain. You'd want it to trade upside first. I can't. I'm not. It's no way I'm entering. There's no I'm entering. Just straight downside. It just looks ugly. You can just see the battles. Like, look at the H1s. Every time the H1 like have like these moves of the breakout to complete the leg, the pullbacks are so violent. They're so violent, which just means there's so many traders getting caught offside in them. Like, we're back under 25,000. Just let that sink in. We're back under it. So we went from 25,000 to 700 to 25,120, back under 25,000. What's to say we don't go to 700? Not a lot. There is not a lot to say we don't go to 700 again today. We've seen it. We can close that gap to 750s. It's nuts. That's the market we're in right now. Like, you can't deny the market we're in. We're in a battleground of rotation, and it's 300 plus points of rotation. Wild, but that's what we're in. And they seem to have panics when they're done. What, she didn't get enough time? All right. So gap fill is looking more and more probable here, folks. Gap fill is looking more and more probable here. His previous day point of control, gap fill will be to 760, liquidating all these players now. Remember, we talked about at the beginning that walk up overnight, they can liquidate that move. So London low here, if you're in this short, obviously I'm not playing anything here, is 870. Yeah, there's no sound. I was talking to my wife for a second. You know, I can have a private conversation every now and again. And gap fill very possible here. VIX really spiking here. Heavy, 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 heavy. Can we fill the gap is like the main question right now. Can we fill the gap? Or do they trap under IB and then go back to highs? So we will find out soon. Here's previous day point of control. Gap fills this yellow line, by the way, folks. So if we reject this, this becomes possible or probable. If we start reclaiming point of control, previous day value, squeeze back up is possible. Because again, the move's been thin, hasn't it? So we would, I'm going to get rid of this because this is not achieving anything. Where are you? Can I move you? There we go. This level now becomes key. This can go. So you've got these zones now. So high time from Algo finding a bid on ES. I don't trust the upside here. Not yet. It's going to have to really show some big acceleration and proof because buyers got trapped. We failed. The worst thing about NQ is that it failed that rotation. If we'd done that move, I would have been much, much more willing to play a downside if we'd done that move. But hey, balance range, rotate back down. Lots of buyers underneath from overnight who can get annihilated. But we need to see some structure built out here. But it's just unwilling, this market, to build out any structure. Like I said, it seems to just want to do moves so fast in one direction with a lack of structure. And it's going to continue to be like that all the time. We don't know what's going on with China. And I would bet there's been some China news that's just come out here that's rattled the market. So I doubt that this is over nothing. Yes, Wall Street Journal. There you go. China expects the prospect of another market meltdown ultimately will force Trump to negotiate at an expected summit with Xi late this month. Sorry. China leader Xi Jinping thinks president will fold before launching new tariffs. There you go. So we had China news with Wall Street Journal, and that was enough to rattle the markets back downside. Okay, so starting to see some relief here. Back inside the initial balance, back inside previous day point of control. How we act at previous day value area high and Globex will be key, I would say. Will be key. Is the thin line 20 on the date? What is the thin line, the Bollinger 20 daily? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I'm sorry. What thin line? There's no Bollinger Band on here. There is nothing on here. We're trading at the 20-day right now at 908, but there's nothing on this chart which is a Bollinger Band or 20-day. There are on other charts. Thinking the same. Wouldn't bulls have stepped in by now? Yeah, it's Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal article enough to rattle the market back down again. We have an anchored VWAP from yesterday at 855s, but where we are right now is kind of no man's land, and the weakness in ES is notable. That is notable weakness in ES. So watching previous day value area high, can we get acceptance back into today's range outside of yesterday's range would be my question for this market at the moment. Here's Globex. 25k under over, basically. That's going to remain the levels. So squeezing back through initial balance, failing underneath initial balance, previous day value area high coming here. Do they sell this or do we squeeze through? Rotational market, do not get stuck in a rotational market. Edge to edge, remember, edge to edge. There's value on the day up here. Yeah. It looks like some good excess there on ES. Want to see if the pullback holds though. Don't want to get long in here if we're going to play edge to edge. It's already pushed aggressively upside in this last move. Here's value area high from yesterday. So you'd want, if we're going to play longs, you would need, if you're playing edge to edge, or I'm not convinced about it at all, you'd want between 20s and 05s to hold. 20s and 05s to hold. If they can't hold that, then you're going to get continuation of selling. If they can hold 20s to 05s, there's potential for a re-squeeze up. Value area high here. When you pass funding ticks eval, do they dispute your account for review? No, they just have to go through it. It doesn't take long. 12 to 24 hours, that's all it's going to take them if you've just passed. It takes them a minute. Okay, here's the pullback towards 20s. So 20s to 05s. Remember, if bulls hold that, probably more upside relief, or at least for that second leg lower time frame high. If they don't hold that, new lows will come and a gap fill will come. Well, that's how I would read this at the moment. We have good excess down here. It was a battle down here. Look at the amount of delta down here, the amount of shorts down here. If we hold this kind of range, that's where shorts will get trapped. If they sell through that range, new lows, gap fill potential. Gap fill on ES would be filled at 68650 and NQ would be 762. So a squeeze up, meltdown. Do we find some balance in the middle at all today, or do we just go berserk? I mean, I wouldn't say it's there. I wouldn't say there's too much more than that at the moment, Chris. Yes, we traded under 20-day. We didn't quite hit the 5-day, and we're just starting to sort of build out some form of consolidation. Squeeze up will be up into this low liquidity. You can see we've got supply up here, so I have to see how we act when we get up there at the moment. We'd like to see a little bit of relief here. Bulls are trying to hold it, but no acceptance right now through previous day value area high. We are stuck right in this area here. So we're stuck at previous day's value at the moment. No getting away from that. We've got to get back through previous day value area high, and really you'd want to reclaim VWAPs, and those are a long way away right now. And they are starting to turn down. So I just don't like the action. We had a nice move up. This, we said, was very dangerous. I wouldn't be long up here. It was very dangerous, just like yesterday. We never completed the move. This would be A+. We're not A+ because we don't complete the move like ES does. We melt away, and because we're thin in here, we come straight back down, and we've sold through it. We've taken out IB. We might go IB to VWAP, maybe. But ES is still underneath initial balance. Be very, very careful there. You've got relative weakness. That market felt very, very heavy. VIX completed its first gap fill, trading back down to 20 at the moment. If it finds a bid here, it can go for 20.80. What a day. It's going to keep being like this. Like I said, look, 25,000 to 700 is going to keep rotating for a long time until they've got someone offside enough to do whatever move that is, whether it's up or down. That is the liquidity building range. Trying to look for more news. Was it just that Wall Street Journal? It's all I can see. Enough to rattle the markets for sure. Okay, remember, bulls have got to hold between 20 and sort of 05 here. If bulls hold that, you'll get a second leg, relief leg higher. If they can't hold that, then they won't. Here's previous day value area high. So stops will get run at 50 if they can get through 50. And then maybe get very lucky and get relief. When did Powell talk? That's news to me. There's 50s, 60s. So can we get up to VWAP now? Remember, we're in a strong downtrend. This is relief, unless it can really claim 25,000. This is just a little bit of relief, unless it can really reclaim 25,000. I don't know why you guys are quoting stuff that Powell said yesterday. Is that what you're saying, Chris? I mean, look, this is how I see it. We went over this earlier. We go to 1 hour. We talked about this earlier. 2 legs. Trading view, you're going to really irritate me. 1, 2. All right. We're pulling back in. If we fail here and we chop in here, this is going to lead to major pain in the market. All right. So bulls will need to step in here. One thing I'd say is we failed to complete the rotation. ES completed it. NQ did not complete it. So that's why I was saying you can't be long up here. The long was here to here. Now we've pulled back to this level. If we fail this and build sideways for a bit, that is going to start looking very nasty. All right, you might get IB to VWAP here for any of you IB traders. Back to that New York Open. Lunchtime here as well now. We are done. Gonzo made our money. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, but that's all later. That's it's not now. We moved because of the Wall Street Journal. I've said it like 5 times now. There's an article released on Wall Street Journal about China. That's why we moved. Not because of anything else. That's why we moved. All right? Bulls were trapped. That's why we moved. That was the catalyst for the move. 25,000 check coming up here. So you'd be watching VWAP here and 25,000. They reclaim that. We go all the way back to this range up here. So this is the start of supply here. If we trade through this area here, we're very thin all the way back up to here now, all right? This is a straight wash down. It can be a straight V-shaped recovery if they want, and the rotation will continue. 25,000 is your under over. As simple as that, folks, all right? I'm done for the day. We made our money nice and early. I would say 1 and done, but it was more likely I had 2 attempts at it. 2 and done. Some of you caught that short. And I'm out of here, folks. Once we hit those, like, what do I call them? Low-hanging fruit trades. I'm uninterested the rest of the day. You can see I'm completely uninterested. It can go ahead and trap everyone for another session or 2. I'll come back and trade once. Oh yes, you are right. You are right. Thank you. We didn't do the giveaway. You are right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do that now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would have forgotten. Absolutely would have forgotten. Left you guys very upset. Let's do that. I'll get my brain in gear. Okay. All you got to do is type course in chat. Course in chat, please. Your chance to win the beginner course, introduction course. Thanks, Alex. First time here, live trading, made $1,000. Nice. Chris, 5,600. Nice work. Nice work, everyone. Nice, 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 nice. All right, getting stuck here, like we talked about. This is the clear supply. You can see buyers failed to come in here. And until we get acceptance through here, and with these VWAPs, it's very, very dangerous now. This is just a range rotation day. IB high, IB low, rotation. Under here, maybe 700s. Maybe 700s underneath. Maybe gap fill underneath. Maybe. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Not something I'm going to hang around for, though. I promise you. Oh. Okay, 1 more minute, folks. Sales in control right now. Previous day high rejected. Initial balance rejected, both on ES. We are above IB, so IB is up here on ES, so very, very different charts. VIX looks like it's trying to find a bid over 20s right now. I would say that 25,000 is your key over under. All right, putting in a winner. Let's see who wins today. Mark Thillison. Hopefully I've said that right. Thillison, Mark Thillison. Are you still in chat, Mark? Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. There he is. Nice, Mark. Mark, just email me info@flowzonetrader.com. That's all you got to do. Email me there and I will get you set up with the introduction course. All right, team. info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, we're done. Oh, market's trying to find a bid on that first higher low. So your VWAPs and your 25,000 are your key levels here. There's no denying it. And I'd be very cautious all the time. ES is under previous day high and initial balance. All right, team. That is what I'd be looking for. If you get acceptance back through those levels, maybe there's a squeeze. all the way back up here. You can't rule it out. The market's mental right now. So it's going to try for that VWAP. If it gets through there, it's going to try for the 25,000. So if I hadn't pulled that win, I probably would have taken that long there on that pullback. We just talked about holding this pullback here. Oh my God, here it goes. Oh God, goodness gracious me. Did anyone take that after we just talked about it? If it holds 20 to 05s, it's a long. How did I know? Delta, volume offside, delta offside, pivot, IB, reclaim, holds this level. All the time it holds this level, it's a long back up to here. Acceptance over here, I wouldn't rule that out. I would not rule that out. Oh, man. That is annoying. That's just unfortunate timing while we're drawing a winner. Yeah, some of you took it. Nice. So I give away free stuff and you guys make money. Thanks very much. That feels really fair, doesn't it? Feels really fair. Got in the delta spike. Yeah, exactly, Dark. That's exactly it. Right here. Boom. Up we go. All right, so your TP1 here. And if you get acceptance back over 25,000, you can look for, if you get really lucky, that full rotation. But definitely TP1 here, okay? Make sure you've paid yourself. All right, team. Back tomorrow. Decent day. Especially if you took every move today, you did really well. So we were long. Some of you took that short probably, which was really good. I actually should have taken that. It's very nice. Okay, and now you're long, partial, and you would have to wait for acceptance. But this will be chop range here now. If you get acceptance under this, if you fail value, don't rule out that gap fill. Don't rule it out, especially if ES shows weakness. All right, team, back tomorrow. Same time tomorrow. We do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Layup trades is all we're looking for. Please trade safe this afternoon. Be careful. And don't forget, Apex finishes Friday. All right, FCT is your best code for there and all the major prop firms. Other than Take Profit, you can use code FlowZone, but it supports the stream. Any money I make just gets poured back into me, providing educational video and funding this stream and getting better and better. I thank you for your support. Thanks for all the new viewers tuning in. Really appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you don't miss me for future streams. And I'll see you tomorrow. Trade safe. Use hard stops. Be kind to each other. Peace and love.